As you know, we have that chat box. Make sure to drop your LinkedIn and your location so we can all connect. Next, we have that Q&A box. Make sure to ask any questions that you have for our speaker, and we'll be sure to get to them at the end. And next, I will hand it on over to Kathryn with Yabble.
Hello, everyone. It's an absolute pleasure to be here today to share with you how you can unlock your research superpowers and save your qualitative data analysis time. So I'm Kathryn, CEO and founder of Yabble. So I've spent the last 20 to 25 years working in the insights industry. I've worked globally around the world with large insights houses and agencies. I've run big global insights teams. And I think last count I'd worked in around 83 different countries and worked on everything from hydraulic hoses to ready roast chickens. But what I have a true passion for is technology, and it's about how we can create technology to make the research process faster, more efficient, and ultimately give you back time so you can spend time doing what you do best, and that is activating insights. So now I have the privilege of running Yabble. And Yabble does really cool things like you see on the screen here. So we're an AI technology company, and we're going to talk a little bit more about how Yabble can give you superpowers shortly. But I haven't always wanted to be a researcher. So when I was a little girl, I really, really wanted to be Wonder Woman. I mean, who wasn't? Who didn't want to be Wonder Woman? You know, she could overcome any obstacle. She could kind of run really fast. She could jump over things. She could solve problems. And so that got at me thinking while we were starting to create Yabble. And it got me thinking, what if researchers had superpowers? What kind of superpowers would researchers want? So like any good researcher, we went out and we actually asked.
You would like to predict the future?
It has to be predicting the future. In fact, I mean, I would love that for myself.
Oh, I think the prime one would be telepathy.
The main superpower we'd have as market researchers is mind reading. I think other industries and professions often claim to have this ability as well, but we're probably the best at it.
I'd like to be able to expand time.
Maybe being multilingual or like a polyglot would be really interesting. We also need to sometimes be just a fly on the wall and just observe. So that would be really awesome to be a little shapeshifter.
I think superpowers is probably being able to get things done in a more time-efficient manner, to be able to have a view over the full, end-to-end element of our service.
I could just magically have more skills to dig into data and do a little bit of data mining. That would be great.
I think the top one would be like rapid synthesis. So just being able to process like a lot of information in lots of different formats all in one go. If I could just, look at a data file or look at like a qual transcript and just instantly be able to, gain some meaning out of that, create a summary, find the insight. That would be my superpower.
So it seems the quest for superpowers is alive and well in the research industry. And while we haven't quite solved the power of telepathy, what we have done at Yabble is we believe we've created tools that really can give you superpowers as qualitative researchers. So with Yabble, you can bring your qualitative data into the Yabble system. We can count it, and that's where we bring it in. We can quantify the different themes and sub-themes that sit within it. We can query it, where you can literally start asking your data questions. And it is quite an addictive thing to be able to just ask your data any question and see what those participants have said about that topic. And we can summarize it. So we can take real conversations like the conversation we're having today, and we can turn that into insights in minutes. So no longer do we have to sit there and read transcripts. We can just get those summarized insights using the power of AI. So the Yabble system is built on a series of natural language tools. We're 1,000 times faster than a human in terms of analysing data. And in the last 6 months, our tools have helped our users create over 58,000 insights. Over 51,000 hours of time has been saved. But most importantly, as we head into the current economic environment, ahead for 2023 is we've actually helped to save researchers over $5 million in analysis time. And the power of the AI is continuing to improve in the way that it works with speed and the complexity of data that it can work with, and just in the ability to, as researchers, really give us back that time that we crave to unlock that activation within the businesses that we're working with. And over the last few months, we've been working with the industry and kind of talking with them globally around what a lot of the key challenges are that they're seeing. And this is from one of the latest spends and trends reports that's been in the market. And you can see there that speed, and that's a lot of what the researchers that we were talking to in our Superpowers interview were talking about, that they just want to be able to kind of have that rapid synthesis of data, be able to work a lot faster to get to the insight. Budget constraints is definitely coming through in terms of being concerned about what the future holds for 2023, and then also having enough time to really influence the business with those insights. So that's what the Yabble system's designed to do. It's designed to help researchers address these challenges, to kind of solve these problems and start ultimately doing analysis at the speed of light. So what I'm going to do here today is I'm going to take that researchers superpower project that we worked on and show you how you can use the Yabble system to really start bringing that insight to light and save your analysis time by 80%. So I'm just going to change screens here. Sorry, I'm not going to do that. Hang on. Right. Here we go. Can I just check everyone can still see that screen? Please, my team, let me know if you can't. So this is the Yabble system. So as I said, we're an AI-powered platform designed specifically for insights, and we use a series of natural language tools to really start to bring to life your insights and really cut down all of that analysis time. So with Yabble, you can import your data. So we're a data-agnostic platform. So you can come to us, you can import, if you kind of a quali and a quanti, you can import all of that good survey data. You can bring in review data from the internet or from social channels. You can upload your interview data, and you can also upload any of your forum data. We work a lot with different researchers who bring a lot of not only qualitative in-depth interviews into our platform, but also forum data as well from a number of different platforms. We can also take other forms of data, so be it general meeting conversations, podcasts, call center data, all of that can come straight into the Yabble system as well. So once you've got your data into the system, you can use our analysis tools. And Hey Yabble is where you will find our suite of AI analysis tools. And we purposely called the analysis tools Hey Yabble because we wanted to kind of play on that concept of Hey Google, where Hey Google, you can kind of go in there and find all of that information. With Hey Yabble, you can do the same thing. You can jump into the Yabble toolset and really start to kind of find all of those different insights that you're looking for. So once you're in the Yabble system, as I said earlier, you can bring your data in here. You can either count it and apply themes and sub-themes to it. You can query it. So this is where you really ask your data questions, or you can summarize it. And I want to start with summarize today and kind of show you how that works and how we can really kind of change the way that we're working with a lot of that interview data that you're doing in the marketplace. And I know I'm a qualitative researcher myself, and I think the summarize tool has changed the way that I can analyze interview transcripts from a good hour and a half, having a read through a traditional 1 hour in-depth interview, through to around 15 minutes in terms of being able to pull out those key insights. So the summarize tool can work with any transcript that you have. So this is the transcript that we had from those Superpowers interviews. This was straight out of Teams, so no fancy kind of human transcription. You can see it's in its, there's double ups of words here. We've got all the timestamps, There's lots of, because I'm a Kiwi, I can't hide my Kiwi accents. Got lots of years and nahs coming through there, and all of that good stuff. So this is a straight raw transcript. We can take transcripts that have been transcribed from another language into English, any kind of normal qualitative tool that you would use to do a video interview or download those transcripts automatically. So you take that transcript, you say you want to essentially summarize your data, add your project here, and it's as simple as kind of giving it a name, choosing all of your different interview transcripts. This project had 10 researchers that I spoke to around the world. Confirm that we're not kind of going to breach any of our data permission rules, and essentially click next. So, and here what we can do here, there's only one extra step that we have to take, and that is because we're working in an AI environment, we actually want to be able to give our AI a little bit of context. So the context that we give it is just a little bit about what our project's about. In this instance, it's an interview with market researchers, and it's talking about if they had superpowers. So we can give as much or as little context as we want here. The more context we give the AI, the more it can really hone into the different areas that you're interested in terms of wanting to understand that output. So the full interviews of the superpowers actually went on to talk to people about their data analysis needs, talked about how data's changed, because as researchers, I think fundamentally, if we look at how our industry changed, the main thing that's really changed around our industry is the types and access to data that we use, and that's what's driving a lot of this desire for superpowers. So we can kind of add the broader context in. The more we put in here, the more the AI knows to look for those different types of analysis when we go through in terms of driving the insights. You can see all of your transcripts are sitting here. If you decide that you don't want to analyze all of them, you can just kind of pick a couple to analyze, or if you've come in and you've started with one transcript and then you want to add them as your project evolves, you can do that as well and just pop them through. So once you've got them ready and you've got your context ready, you can just review and hit go. But we've done that already for you today. So this is that analysis here. So that's taken all of that real transcript and it's put it through the AI engine using the context. So this is the context, the full context I gave the AI here. And what you can see is it's taken all of that raw data, it's taken away all the years and nahs and all the questions and the timestamps, and it's actually turned it into a true insight summary of the conversation. So within that superpowers piece of work, I had the privilege of talking with Adrian Green, who's the head of the insights function for McDonald's, and you can see that's been pulled out nicely here. And he works across all aspects of data, from customer data to business data. And when we asked him about superpowers, he believes that telepathy would be the most useful in order to understand his customers, and also that essentially market researchers should have an advanced brain that allows them to remember everything, wouldn't that be nice, and filter through the data rapidly to get to the most useful information. So what this has done is it's taken the transcript. That one was about a 20-minute interview, and it's taken it and it's chunked it down into 3 key areas of insight. And as researchers, I know that we're always kind of curious and we're going, well, how do I know that those 3 areas of insight are actually the most pertinent and accurate compared to my transcript? And so what we can do there is over on the side here, you've got the ability to export this data out, and you can map it back against the transcript itself. So if I map it back and include the transcript, I will automatically get an output that provides me with the original transcript of the information. So if I want to go back and pull any verbatim comments or anything like that, that's in there, and then the summary of that information as well. So all of a sudden, instead of having to kind of work really hard and put a lot of cognitive load on myself, kind of working through kind of all of the different ins and outs of that conversation, the AI has done it all for me, and it's given me the key points of information there. What I can also do is if I've got different segments of customers I'm looking at, or particular interviews that I know were kind of more poignant than others in terms of the analysis that I'm wanting to do, I can also go through and highlight those as well. So Emily was a particularly good interview, as was Adrian's, so I can just highlight those ones and have a look at that. So once I've created my insight summaries from my transcripts, and we can do this not just with interview transcripts, we can also do it with podcasts, we can do it with forum data. So any form of, we call it long form data or conversational data, we can pull into the Summarize engine and start to get you really fast, kind of succinct insights. But once we've got to this point and we've got a good overview of our project, the next thing we want to do is we want to be able to kind of explore it and interrogate it more. And I like to call it getting to all corners of our data, where we really can get in there and dig about and understand what's going on. And that's where we can start using our query engine. So if you remember here, we've talked about Summarize, so coming into query, and this is where we can literally ask our data questions. So picking that same If Researchers Has Superpowers project again, I want to know why. So why do researchers want superpowers? It's like probably a reasonably straightforward kind of curiosity as a researcher we might have. So to answer that question, it's as simple as coming into Hey Yabble query, typing in, so why do researchers want superpowers, hitting that check functionality, and the AI goes away here and it looks at all of that interview data that we've uploaded into the engine, and it says, can I answer that question? And this takes around, it's between 10 to 40 seconds, and it goes away and it reads the answers. And then it comes back to us with a what we call a test answer or a sample answer, where you can decide whether actually we're getting a good kind of answer to that question, or it's a question that we might want to go back and reframe to help the AI give it more context and understand what's happening here. So you can see here, this is our little sample answers. Researchers want superpower in order to be able to generate insights from data more effectively, to be able to use data more effectively, and to ... purposely cut off, because when we do this check functionality, we're only working with about 10 pieces of data, and we don't want you to rely on those 10 pieces of data. So it's more around just making sure we've got that frame of reference right for the AI. So this one looks good, so I'll give it a thumbs up. And then I can come down here and I can choose how much of my data set I actually want to run this analysis on. So if I've got a big piece of forum data and I've got 100 people or so in my forum, or even 50, but only kind of 50% of them actually were asked this question, or I'm particularly interested in a segment, I can filter through that data and target those people. I can also just reduce my sample size here. And this just gives me the ability to kind of use the AI slightly differently and kind of slice and dice the data. And we give you a confidence level here to tell you, based on the number of sample you're choosing, how confident you can be in the way that the AIs analyze that analysis. So again, super simple, just ask a question, have a look at your answer. Does it look like it's going to be about on point? And then you can review and pay. And Yabble uses a full credit system where you can jump in there and kind of ask as many different questions as you like across the analysis. So I have asked this question earlier, and this is the answer to it. So you can see here, so this is based on those videos that we saw at the beginning of the session. So all of you obviously saw that a lot of the key themes in the videos that people were talking about. So, so the AI has gone through and it's read the transcript from those videos. and it's gone, okay, so there's a number of reasons why researchers might want superpowers, the ability to gather data more quickly, the ability to predict the future, and I think all of us would like this superpower as a researcher, and the ability to essentially work more efficiently and effectively with data. And it's picking up things like pausing time. I think it was Sarah that wanted to pause time, and being able to help understand the context of the data. So being a fly on the wall or kind of having those super observational powers as a qualitative researcher. So this is all natural language generation. So we work with our AI models to go through and read all of the qualitative data that you've collected and put it and allow the AI to then answer your research question. Just another one here, because this is one of my most favourite, I think, tools in our analysis suite. And I do warn you, it is a pretty addictive tool. As a researcher, you can get kind of lost there writing lots of questions of your data. But this was one we asked kind of the research community. We were talking with them about data and how data's changed, and we asked the AI, so how has AI changed the way that you look at this data? And what you can see here is researchers are telling us that AI has changed the way we look at data by providing a wealth of information that was previously unavailable, mass data collection methods, and also reducing the amount of time it takes to analyse. And I think we can see that kind of desire to save time and reduce time is one of the key areas that researchers are looking for when they're talking about AI tools and how they can support them, or if they just want to get superpowers. So we've had a look now. We've taken our interview data into the Yabble system. We've summarised it to pull out all of those key points of insights across each of the individual interviews. And by doing that, it allows us to not only, as the primary researcher of that interview, kind of get a really good quick summary of that interview, but it means that we can collaborate with our team members a lot more as well. So if you've got 3 or 4 researchers working on a project, you can all share each of your summarised interviews to kind of quickly get up to speed to understand what's happening across each of your interview set. You can also share these summarised interviews with your end customer as well, so and kind of help them come through the insights process and also iterate. You might want to be able to change your interview guide based on some of the early interviews or explore different areas. So as a team of researchers, you have a better ability to do that. Once we've summarised it, we've gone in there and we've asked it questions, and we can ask kind of all sorts of different questions, and we can slice and dice that data in order to do that. And then the last thing we might want to do when we're working with bigger sets of qualitative data, so this is more when we've got large sets of forum data where we've kind of got 50 so people in there, or significantly sized in sets of interviews, so where we're kind of looking at the 30 plus in-depth interviews. And so exploring data essentially takes all of that unstructured data and it puts it through a series of processes within the AI engine, and it essentially allows us to quantify the data. So here I'm just going to pick a slightly more, a data set with slightly more data in it. And so this is one that we did in October, where we went out to the insights industry and we said to them, hey, how has data changed? Like, we know data's changed a lot. How has that data changed? And so this is from conversations with researchers. You can see here, these are a lot of the comments and conversations that researchers were talking about. And this can come through from forum data. We can also pull it through from survey, review data, social data, any kind of conversational data that you've had. So it comes through and it automatically buckets or themes the main things that you see coming through in the data set. And then it applies a sub-theme to all of that data as well. So it has a look at what's the main theme, and then it, in a really humanistic way, it also labels out the additional things that people are saying in a sub-theme view. And you can see that sub-theme view that way as well. So it works really effectively for bigger sets of qualitative data where you really want to get kind of a bit more of a hierarchical understanding of the things that are coming through in your data sets. And over here, if you've got different kind of types of consumers or types of participants that you're working with, you can also apply a lot of different filters in there as well to isolate different groups of customers or different segments that you've been analysing with. So that's essentially, I think I need to allow a little bit of time for questioning, but ultimately, I guess if we're going to sum up what we want to talk about and how we want to show you the way to get superpowers is ultimately think about turning conversations into insights in minutes. So literally, this was the conversation. Some of you may know Jeff from InfoTools. We had a great conversation about superpowers and data. I automatically did a transcript of that through Teams by pressing kind of a button and out it came. I then pulled that into the Yabble engine, got a key summary of all of the different kind of insight points, and then was able to start asking that data questions and really digging down into the types of superpowers that different researchers wanted. So we at Yabble talk a lot about this idea of save time and free your mind, because we want, researchers have got some of the best minds in the world, and we want to free those up so you can do what you do best. And so if you want to free your mind and save some time, and then we invite you to take the Yabble Challenge. It gives you over 1,500 free credits towards your first project. So you can get in touch at hello@yabble.com. And we also have a prize draw, I believe, for those of you who have been in this webinar today as well, to win some extra Yabble credits to participate. But I'm going to stop there and open up the floor to questions.
Thank you so much, Kathryn. I know for the Green Book team, we love what Yabble has to offer, and we're so excited to continue using it. With that, we do have some time for some questions. How long does it take to summarize a 30-page transcript?
Takes around 5 minutes.
That's really fast. What kind of transcripts can you work with? And can you work with audio or video files?
So yes, we can. So essentially, we can work with almost any kind of transcript. So if you auto-transcript, kind of human transcribed data, that's all fine. We work I guess the only real restriction is we work primarily in English at this point in time. So we do ask that you transcribe it from another language into English. If you have audio and video files, if you send those across to us, we'll get them into a format that's correct for the platform, and away we go.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kathryn. And thank you to all of our viewers for tuning in. We will see you in the next session.
Thank you.